How about I unmute myself? Hi!
Hello?
Hello. All right. Right now, everyone looks like they're talking.
Hello?
Like everyone
Look-
should be able to be heard. By
We want to look like we're talking? How do we...
well, I can see you
How
on
do
the
we
audio
look
mixer.
like we're
Um,
talking?
like I can tell it's at least going into the software. Whether the software
it.
is, yay! Everyone is audible.
Yay! Audible.com.
So, for those of you who,
Non-sponsor.
yeah, not a sponsor,
No.
could be.
We are sponsored by Audible.com.
No, we're not. Don't give them the free stuff. We need them to pay for that shit.
True.
At least pay for my Audible subscription, please.
I don't have an Audible subscription, and I don't think I ever will, considering the fact that, like, I hear something, and then it goes in, like, one ear and immediately out the other. And it's like, I have tried books on tape and stuff like that, and every single time they will say like 3 sentences, and I have already forgotten what has happened 2 sentences before going.
Okay, so this is my elevator pitch.
Mhm.
So I am an audiobook bitch.
Mhm.
The fact that I finished a book this weekend, like an actual, like, honest to God physical book that was not on my phone. Because fan fiction is a different story.
Yeah.
I've read some pretty long
we
fics,
know what
that's
fanfic you
different.
were reading.
Exactly.
But
We know.
I would not have been. So I listened to Dune. I would not have been able to read that.
Oh, okay.
Like, I would not.
That's valid.
Same thing. Like, the way that I'm gonna have to read Game of Thrones, because you can kind of tune out the nonsense and the bullshit and the fillers of the like blah 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 high fantasy bullshit that doesn't matter. Like, you can get the broad strokes easier. That's at least in my experience. I can get the broad strokes. I understand what's happening. I don't need to get caught up about, I don't know. But yeah, so like, granted though, Dune is like a 20-something hour book. Because how big that fucking book is. But this is a pitch for audiobooks. I would like to clarify that I am not telling people to get Audible.
Good, make them pay for it.
Yeah.
Audible, if you'd
But,
like to sponsor us,
yeah.
hit us up.
Also, your local library can help you with that for free.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Listen, this is a long elevator.
I think
You've
my
never been on
biggest.
the
Go ahead.
Been on the elevator up to the Empire State Building. That's what I imagine.
I think my biggest problem with audiobooks is that, like, you don't have to stop what you're doing for audiobooks, which means that I will get entranced in something else, and then it's just, like, static in my ear. I am not listening.
See, that's why I like it. Is I can be doing something else.
Yeah.
Background music.
Yeah, I can't do that. The most, like, background, like, I can do music because all I have to do is, like, bounce around, like, nod my head, dance in my chair. In case anyone was wondering, yes, I do this at work. But, like, the second you start getting actual words that I'm supposed to listen to, like, it doesn't happen. I do listen to podcasts when I go for runs, though, so I can apparently figure out how to put one foot in front of the other and listen. The multitasking is apparently restricted.
I read, like, air quotes, read Dune when I was at my old job. And I basically, I'm sure I've talked about it to some extent, but I spent a lot of time by myself because there were only 3 of us in that department, and my boss never came in. And my other coworker, who happened to be my brother, didn't want me to talk to him all the time.
Fair.
So I spent a lot of time by myself, and that's where, like, a lot of the stuff that I was doing, I could listen to it, and that's, I think it took me like a couple of weeks to get through it, just because, I'd have to pause it if somebody wanted to talk to me. But that's where, Like, I like, because it's the same kind of way, like, I like watching, like, movies and TV shows when I'm drawing. It's, I can listen to an audiobook and draw and paint and do all that stuff, too.
Right.
Uh.
Anyways, Audible is not sponsoring us, so... Not sponsored. Don't go use Audible until they pay us. When they do pay us...
Give us your money, Bezos.
Exactly. Like, sign up with our code that doesn't currently exist. Anyways, hi. We're back on Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I'm Kels. I'm the dumb bitch that decided to update the streaming software 10 minutes before stream. So if anything's weird, or if you were wondering why we were sitting there going, can everyone be heard? Is everything okay? That would be why. Because there's some weird settings so that I could make sure stream actually happened tonight. Because once again, I updated it 10 minutes before we were supposed to go live. So, yeah.
And
dumb bitch.
no, you're great. I'm Manabingu can get whatever you want to say. Just pick a flavor of the week. I do voices. Again, usually I'm typecast as the creepy weirdos or the eccentrics, I guess. I should just start a Netflix series. The eccentrics. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. The eccentrics. And they're all voiced by me and they all sound terrible. with incoherent accents. So also I apologize to everyone for butchering accents. That's my disclaimer. I don't even know if they're real accents, to be honest, whenever I talk.
Listen, someone could talk like that.
You're right. Someone out there talks like this.
Okay. Sorry.
You okay?
We're fine. I am here, and I'm trying to zoom in on the stream, and we're having some issues.
Oh, no. Wait, I have like a fancy thing. How's that? Can you see that?
No.
Oh, well. That sucks for you then.
Anyway, sorry, I was interrupted.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Wildly interrupted.
Standard disclaimer on my end is that I have a whole horde of animals that could be making sounds at any point. Maverick, stop it! Like right now. Maverick, stop chewing on that. Jesus. If I refer to children, or if you hear a childlike voice, I'm either speaking to a dog or that voice is coming from a 25-year-old bird. So, not neglecting a child. If you hear a tantrum in the background, that is a 25-year-old bird. I swear to God. You could follow me on Instagram and you'll see her somewhere, I think. Do I have her on? Anyway, her name's Cookie. I'm pretty sure she's on my Instagram somewhere. You might have to stalk it pretty deep in. But yeah, anyway. That's all I got.
Yay!
Ayo.
Please excuse me as I sit here and mess with our... Oh no, I don't want that.
Oh, what spicy thing are we doing today on the stream?
Yeah, Lemur, what'd you choose?
Would you like to play a game?
Yeah. Absolutely. Come on, Jigsaw.
So tonight's game of choice, of course not sponsored, but it could be, is Pick Your Poison. The excellent Would You Rather game that has devolved into many a weird conversation on this stream.
That's fair.
So,
Poison.
We're going to jump right into it. We're going to pick your poison for Cusco. Jumping right into it. Oh my God. Sorry. There's a lot of growling happening. They're wrestling, just for context. So, would you
heard
rather...
they're wrestling for content, and I'm like, what?
They are wrestling for content.
They're wrestling for content.
They do. I do have an Instagram for my dogs. So, you ever want to follow my dogs,
Instagram.
Finnegan the GSD on Instagram.
So they're wrestling for content. Okay.
All right. So, would you rather live in the desert without air conditioning, or panhandle for at least $5 every day, or else lose all the money in your bank account?
Define panhandle.
I think we've had this question, isn't it? Like where you stand on the street with the money thing.
Yes. Yes.
I remembered this one.
Oh yeah. I think we did this. I like air conditioner. Air conditioners are my best friend.
What was the first option again? I already forgot.
It just says live in the desert without air conditioning. So, yeah. So, asking about the time duration. This one does not specify how long it is. You know, if you have to panhandle for at least $5 every day, that alludes that there's some good hefty length to it.
Yeah.
But like, how long you live in the desert without air conditioning? I mean, I could do that in like the winter.
Yeah.
Live implies a decent amount of time as well, I would say. So
yeah,
we could put it as like equal time for both, so like 1 year or something. Honestly, I don't like people well enough, so I could probably make it in the desert as long as I didn't have to talk to anyone. Let's be honest.
And I mean, there are ways, because there are people that lived in the desert before the invention of air conditioning.
Exactly.
Like, there are ways that you can keep yourself cool without a powered air conditioning unit. So I think I would rather live in the desert.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that would be my...
Correct. Antarctica is a desert.
That is too fucking cold for me. But thanks.
But you wouldn't need an air conditioner.
That is indeed true.
Mana just disappeared.
Uh-oh.
I don't know where they went. I just, like, the little thing popped up and Mana left.
Okay, bye. Hope you come back. Yeah.
They might be having audio stuff still.
Yeah.
On their end. Mana's back.
Yay.
Hello?
Yeah, Skype's being rude. So, if I ever, like, drop my beat,
That's fair.
just keep going.
But yeah, no, Antarctica is a desert, and you would not need air conditioning there, so you can't really
So we're going to
live on
Antarctica.
Yeah, I still, like, don't get me wrong,
Stay
I'd love
there
to,
for a little
like,
bit.
fuck with penguins. I feel like we could have, like, a cool little penguin team. And that would be cool, but that's still really cold, and I would never go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think without the Antarctica bit, I'd say I would still do the desert option.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I already live in Florida, and at least the desert is dry heat, so...
Yeah.
Right. True. And, I mean, you could live in an oasis, like place where there is water, you know? So.
Well, and it only stipulates that you're not there with you're there without air conditioning. So, like, you could assume then, because it's not stated, that there are other amenities that could help you cool down.
Yeah.
Okay,
So yeah, like water and all that stuff. Like I wouldn't necessarily, the way that it's phrased and the way that we tend to logic our way through these, I wouldn't assume that you're just dropped in the middle of like the Sahara with nothing.
Oh, okay.
Kind of thing.
So in that case, time to live out my dreams of being a pharaoh. Let's go.
There you go.
Exactly.
And, like, here's the thing, like, I have lived long enough without an air conditioner. I have one now. I think this is the first place I've ever lived in that actually had an air conditioner. But the, I know how to make an air conditioner out of a fan and ice. Like,
yeah.
This is not new information.
No.
Chad is apparently just going to stand in front of the fridge all day, which, like, fair. Been there.
I would not count that necessarily as air conditioning. You were using the
Exactly.
fridge
You
to
could
cool
just
you down.
have a fridge.
It's kind of like when
Live
I
in
worked
the
at
fridge.
when I worked at Girl Scout camp. One of the camps that I worked at was very hot, and very dry. And a lot of the times we would bribe the kitchen staff to let us stand in the walk-in fridge and freezer to cool down. So I've had many like break time in a walk-in fridge, just because I was dying.
There you go.
So, but I wouldn't necessarily count that as air conditioning because that's not its purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's Maverick. It's cooling down like the fridge itself. Like I guess you could count it as air conditioning, but I don't want to. So I think general consensus sounds like we'd rather live in the desert.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, I'll be a pharaoh. It's fine.
Also, totally fair.
Exactly.
Don't
Society
want a
has
panhandle.
criminalized being poor.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. Lived out of my car for a bit.
Yeah. Not fun. Not. Yeah. There's a whole can of worms that we could go into on that.
Yep.
Which we could save for a different time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Question number 2. Would you rather take 6 untrained dogs with you everywhere you go, or spend every day on an airplane? I don't like these options that we're getting today. I might cheat and curate our next selection. So
I think we did this one too.
Well, we've done the dogs one before, but not with the airplanes.
Oh, the airplane.
So
Okay.
airplane. So 6 untrained dogs with you everywhere you go, or spend every day on an airplane.
On cue.
Yeah, speaking of,
On an airplane?
does it say how long you have to spend on the airplane every day, or like
This
it?
says every day.
Because like, I don't know. I'll take a couple-hour flight every day. Like,
But it also doesn't specify that it's in the air.
That's true.
You could just live in an airplane.
So, like a Ghibli movie. Yeah. All right. This time I guess we'll be Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. Let's go.
Yeah, I think that, like, I've been on enough airplanes in my life, even if it is in the air, like, it does not specify I have to go through TSA every day, so...
Yeah.
The airplane's in the desert without air conditioning.
The airplane's in the desert. Lol.
The argument that I have would be for the 6 untrained dogs is like if they were little. Sure.
Yeah.
Because you could wrangle little dogs fairly easily. I couldn't wrangle, like Maverick's 95 pounds. I could not wrangle 6. I could barely wrangle 1 Maverick.
Yeah. Honestly, the biggest appeal of the 6 untrained dogs to me, no matter how big they are, is that no one will be getting close to me with 6 untrained dogs around me at all times, so that's good for my trying to avoid people. I like that.
Yes.
I still think sticking with the airplane for
Yeah.
that one because
I agree.
just for me, I'm like I guess a sound-based person. I don't know what that means, but I just but that much barking would drive me insane. I'm sorry. I am not a dog person. I'm definitely not a dog person, and I know it. And they're cute, and I respect them. And if they come up to me, I respect them, and I give them, head pats and go, "Ooh, good girl." Yeah, I do the whole 9 yards. But I'm more of a cat person, honestly.
I just had mostly brought it up because we hadn't talked about that option like at all.
Yeah.
So that's more so. But yeah, no, I totally get you. I mean, yeah, I've got 3 German Shepherds, and the barking is a lot. So I can only imagine it'd be worse if I had double the German Shepherds.
I feel like if you are allowed to train the dogs, it kind of takes away the issue here.
Yeah.
You know, so like, I'm assuming that untrained has to be sort of a forever thing, or
Yeah.
for as long as, you know, you might live on the airplane.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, it doesn't specify if you can't ever train them, but it kind of alludes that you might not be able to. Show.
Yeah.
We want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Anyway.
Would you rather
Anyway.
give everyone in the room, so I'm going to clarify that as those of us on stream and those of us watching the stream live.
Okay.
Give everyone in the room 10 minutes to look through everything in your bedroom, or always feel like you need to sneeze but you can't.
Oh, absolutely. Give them 10 minutes in my bedroom. I don't know.
Nothing.
Yeah, like I literally have nothing. I have a bed and you will find my underwear drawer, and that is about the most embarrassing thing I've gotten there.
Yeah. I mean, as long as they're not allowed to take anything,
It
my
doesn't say anything
my
about it.
room is literally like a maze. You have to like if they went in there for 10 minutes, I'd be like, ah, good luck, buddy.
Yeah.
See,
that's about it.
I have the sinking suspicion that most people would want more than 10 minutes because of all of the shit I have.
You do have a lot in there. As someone who has been there, I can confirm.
I don't like blank walls, and
Yeah.
I like the
Same.
wall I'm looking at right now easily has like 100 Funko Pops on the shelf I'm looking at. Like, there's
Yeah, same
something
with
to
me,
look
but, like,
at
anime merch.
everywhere. Huh?
Yeah, it's same with me, but like there's like anime merch and posters and you know, like jewelry and just like
See, I'm like
all my hair stuff and cosplay and wigs.
I'm completely the opposite, because the only thing in my bedroom, I have a bed, I have a dresser, I have a nightstand, and I have Prince cats, and that is it. Like, I don't have anything on the walls, I don't have any furnishings other than that. Like, you would spend 2 minutes in there and go, okay, I'm done. Like, what now?
That's it.
What do I do with the other 8? Yeah.
See,
Right.
my comfort zone is
sing.
like nesting in my dragon hoard of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I have to feel cozy. I have to. My aunt, who I swear to God, when she said this, I about lost it because so my aunt, this aunt in particular, her entire house, like she has all of these like vintage signs and all this stuff, like her living room kitchen situation, like wall to wall covered in like vintage stuff, right? One time she walked into my room and she said it looked cluttered, and I was like, "Excuse me, but we're doing the same thing."
The dragon's den. You have entered, mortal.
But yeah, no, I would. I mean, two of my friends came over a couple weekends ago, and they hadn't actually been here since I moved back home, and I think they literally spent 10 minutes just looking around my shit. So like, yeah, I got nothing to hide.
Yeah.
I love this. As long as you promise not to rearrange the mess I made into a different mess, you're welcome.
Exactly. Don't move stuff. You're allowed to look at the things, just don't move them, because then I won't know where it went.
Also, as a person who does have a couple of tokusatsu toys, that shit is huge and it can take up a lot of space. And I'm just sitting here looking at my toku section of the shelf, and I'm like, that's a lot. It takes up a lot of space.
Yeah. We are not the same. I still have boxes I haven't unpacked after moving, so.
Ugh.
I mean, who wants to unpack stuff?
Literally, like, I should point out, I'm the worst interior decorator in the world in that I just won't do it. Like, all the furniture I have is secondhand. Like, I don't have any, like, cohesive color scheme. The, like, blankets I have on my bed, the sheets are from IKEA, and then I have a blanket that I got in college on as a comforter, and it is not the right size for the bed, so
Oh,
not super aesthetic either.
still valid. Still valid.
The
So-
only cohesion I have in like my color scheme is that a lot of it fits under the umbrella of Halloween colors.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, okay. That's
So
cool.
it's not on purpose, but those are just my favorite colors anyway. And
Mhm.
most of my, I mean, I have like 3 Halloween pillows that I can see right now. So I guess, if there's a
This
theme,
is Lemur's
it's
room. This is Lemur's
Exactly.
room. Lemur's room.
Yeah, no, I had to get maintenance up here to fix my air conditioner Monday. And he came in and he looked around and he was like, "Yeah, I know you've lived here for a while. Why does it look like you're still moving in?" Like, because
It's like, shh, you'll give away my secret.
I never unpacked everything. I don't even have that much stuff to begin with, so
Still, that's valid.
mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Bedroom falls under stripper rules. Don't look, don't touch.
Yep.
All right. Well, shall we talk about the game?
Yeah.
All right. So, what did we do last time? We began the trial by examining the knife with a broken tip and arguing about whether or not Natsume was even at the crime scene to begin with, despite the fact that we already know what he witnessed is consistent with where the other testimonies placed him. However, our summation examination revealed that the deaf juror also matches the description of the victim and fell down that night, opening the possibility that he wasn't really there. Unfortunately, the 2 jurors who aren't convinced are Bruce Fairplay, who still has a grudge against us for that last trial, and Joan Garadeb, who we highly suspect is the culprit and are trying to kill her husband's mistress. The prosecuting attorney has stripped off his cape and called forth his next witness. Our hallowed chalice count is 4. I'm pretty sure he's broken 3 of them at this point. And we have the British racism count of 13. And I will not read that last part, but you are correct. So, shall we?
Yes.
we
everyone-
shall.
See it a little bit better now.
Yes, I
Yes.
can see thine screen.
All right.
The prosecution requests permission to call its next witness to the stand.
Granted. Bailiff, bring forth the witness.
Bailiff Elmo, my favorite character in the whole world.
It's next witnesses?
Mr. Naruhodo, don't you remember? This was literally 2 seconds ago.
Yeah,
No, it
Uh,
was last Tuesday.
exactly.
We've
Now it's
told
been days.
We've been told on several occasions that there were eyewitnesses to the incident.
Yeah, I remember. One of them being a Scotland Yard policeman, no less.
I'm afraid that's likely to be the prosecution's next witness.
I love that. That was
Alright.
a great chord progression.
All right. No matter who Von Seeks brings to the stand as his witnesses, and no matter what they say, I believe in Soseki-san. I know he's innocent, and I'll keep believing to the very end, until this battle is over.
Right now, they think he's Saseki-san.
He is Soseki-san.
Oh my God.
Porgies. Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court. Why is one eating his cat?
He must be the Scotland Yard policeman, so...
Are they dating?
Isn't that his wife?
Oh, maybe. Am I taking roly-poly-oly?
Or would you like me to flip a coin?
We could flip a coin and then whoever doesn't get it gets the other one.
Okay.
Mana, you can call.
Tails?
It.
Tails.
Okay, you gotta figure out which one you're... Tails? Okay,
Pick
it is
one!
Tails. It is Tails. You get to pick...
Tails the fox. Okay, fine. I guess I'll be roly-poly-oly over.
Constable Roly Beat, sir. Nothing to report on the street, sir.
Mood.
And I'm Mrs. Beatty. Patricia's my name. I am proud to say I am this young town hero's wife.
Oh, waifu.
What's the story here?
Well, in truth, we've not been married long.
Trisha. Anyway,
Sorry.
sorry.
Patricia! Anybody know that video? Anyway, it's like a cheer practice, and they're all doing
okay.
shit, and then like the coach just shrieks Patricia, and everyone she looks like she shit her pants, and like everybody else is like, anyway.
That sounds like my kind of video.
If I ever find it, I will send it to you.
Thank you.
It was very popular for a while, but I have not seen it in many a moon. Such is the way of the internet. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day.
No, it was your husband I was asking about. He seems tired.
Hardly surprising. Whilst being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world.
Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually.
Indeed, apart from rare days off, our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know.
Oh, shit.
They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, check that meters are reading true. They do a lot, Jesus.
Shit.
And they're responsible for keeping the streets clean and lighting and extinguishing our streetlights.
Taxman. Sorry. The Beatles just came in my head.
There are a number of items on this list that don't sound much like policing duties at all.
I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet. I'd have collapsed long ago.
Patricia, we're living in sin for over a decade until last year.
But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is apprehension of criminals.
Oh, excuse me.
Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat. For the London Bobby is a man of honor.
And a man of slumber.
Indeed, I hereby decree, on the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction, and they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat?
I'm gonna read this and then I have to step away for just a couple minutes.
Okay.
Then I'll be right back. But that's right, sir. Isn't it, Rowley? So I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh, he's awake.
Constable Rowley Beats, sir. Nothing to report on the streets, sir.
What a great witness he's gonna be.
Sure.
Very good. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident.
Yes, sir.
Just gotta get in a quick nap there.
Yep. 2
All
second
right.
nap. Let's go.
It was our wedding anniversary, and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out on the fog in the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, and then the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and then went for help at a nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rolly and I both saw him as clear as day.
Okay, I thought he was going to do some testimony.
Right, that's what I thought too. But
Well,
he half asleep, so.
apparently, I feel like this is all hearsay at this point, but whatever. Well, this is extremely compelling testimony, I must say. Huh?
Oh dear. This policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene. If their testimony is true, the alternative course of events that you established in the summation examination will be quashed.
It's death knell, in fact. Because that alternative was never viable in the first place.
What an unfortunate bechancing. And on your wedding anniversary, too.
Oh, I know, but I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that. Gosh, the life of a London Bobby sounds very hard indeed.
Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to rest this afternoon.
What do you mean by that?
My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without a doubt the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less. So you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure.
I'm back.
Yay!
Sure.
Sorry, y'all.
I did not play your characters well, so have
That's
fun.
okay, I
No,
don't
you
either.
did great.
Huh.
Great, sweetie.
Except that the man's so tired his wife has to do all the talking.
Enough preamble, counsel, for the defense. Commence the cross-examination, please.
Yes, my lord.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright. Cross-examination.
Woo-woo.
It was our wedding anniversary, and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work.
No time to change after work, you say? Are you also a member of the police, Mrs. Beat?
Oh, no, sadly not. It's a job for strapping young men only. Women, children, and the elderly can't even apply. The elderly.
Children?
Children.
Well, I
That was
think
quick.
you can probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you?
I think Rolly looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits you down to the ground, doesn't it, darling?
Well, I just finished my beat. Pat and I were heading back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there.
Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy.
Possessed.
Oh no, Rolly. I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes.
Oh.
Teehee. Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy. Kindly adhere to the point. You were going for a meal after you had finished your beat for the day, correct?
That's right, sir. Yes. Although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. But policing is my life, sir. As long as I am proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and the Queen to the end.
What's that now?
My warrant card, sir. Prove that I'm a London copper. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to us all policemen of our sworn duty. To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir, and for such a noble cause,
I cover 20 miles every single day without fail and without a grumble. Maybe a little snooze here and there, but because I know the plotting of my books is all Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure.
So, fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it then.
Nah, bitch. But, sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Miss Beat put up with a lot of being with a lot being married to a bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care.
Well, this is a married couple that loves each other.
Aw.
Oh yeah, look at her eyes.
That's so cute.
Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
I love you very much, Pat.
Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold.
If a little over the top, perhaps.
I'm gonna put it
The
out
whole
there.
dance.
What if they're faking it and this is all ruse? And
Possible.
they actually, like, it's a whole lie. Anyway, and then kindly describe what happened next.
I love how they seem in love and we're like, it can't be right.
That's
We
so
played
sad,
this game
actually.
too long. to
No
not be
one is a
suspicious.
happy married couple. One of them has to be a phantom thief.
True.
Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us.
Two silhouettes?
That's right. They were coming towards us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction.
Shit.
There was a rather plump figure followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man. That does sound exactly like the victim as pictured in this print, like Mr. Natsume.
Yeah, unfortunately, it does.
And you're certain that at that time there was nobody else nearby.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Quite certain. It was dark, but there are streetlights on Briar Road, you see. There was nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling?
Yes, that's right. Of course, there was a light fog on the ground. But Briar Road is dead straight, and you couldn't see a fairly long way down the pavement. And then there's the street lighting as well. I didn't see any other position. Before sleep takes a firm hold, your answer, please, Mr. Beat. Are you quite sure of what you just said? No, yes, sir. As a corporal who spends all day, every day, keeping watch on the streets, I'd swear to it, sir. I am sure as my love for Patricia is true. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
You're still maintaining there was no one else around other than the victim and the
Little
that?
nuzzles.
attacker. Give me a second. Something made a real weird noise. I will be
I know we're...
right back.
Okay.
And now for a tap dancing number.
Let's see. Cookie is trying to fill in the silence.
Yeah. Susato, why can't you be more like them, Ryunosuke-san? Ryunosuke, because Kazuma is dead. Oh, that is so sad. Not in our fanfic, he's not.
Fanfiction always
Rolly-
fixes things.
Exactly, that's what fanfiction is for. Rolly talks in his sleep and accidentally mutters the name of his mistress in front of his wife in the court. Oh my god, if that actually happens, I will absolutely scream. Like, for real, for real.
Ryunosuke, objection. You two were too busy sucking each other's faces to see anything on the rope that night.
Honestly, I would use that.
I mean, yeah.
I would absolutely say, oh, you two were, as they call, snogging. And therefore, you could not have possibly seen Mr. Natsume's face, because your faces were the only thing you see
Yeah.
within a 5-mile radius. And no, you are not allowed to say peripheral vision. My
Do you
god,
truly
that
ever
would be a
see-
funny, like, that would honestly be a funny way to...
Yeah. Hi, Maverick.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, well,
Everything
it's
all good?
okay.
Yeah, some guy outside has captured a raccoon and is apparently trying to show it to people.
Ew!
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No!
I mean,
Florida man, why?
Florida man's gonna get himself rabies.
Oh yeah,
But-
absolutely.
Florida
Like,
man gets a rabies.
especially
while
around here.
while Twitch streamer.
Yeah.
While Twitch streamer streams Phoenix Wright.
I
I
do
love
not
that,
know
though.
exactly what that noise was, but it sounded weird.
Little King Trash Mouth. Yes.
Exactly, Little King Trash Mouth. Anyways, all right. It's starting to seem like that must be how it really happened.
And I'm just thinking about raccoons. They just seem like
It's
there's nowhere to
inescapable
run.
now.
Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, did it? He fled the scene all too convincingly.
A little too convincing.
Just thinking about little raccoons with their little hands getting into shit. Thank you. I believe we have a reasonably clear idea of the situation just before the incident now.
Rakakuni. Sorry.
What happened in the crucial moments that followed? All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, and the other scattered something before running off.
Oops. I hit the wrong button. No! Go back! Go back! Go back!
That's fine.
Alright, there we go. Hold it! Go back. Keep going back. Scattered something? What do you mean by that?
Oh, well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time. But when we got closer, we realized what it was. Didn't we, darling?
Oh, no. Oh, well, oh, yes, that's right. It was some old books.
I see. Old books.
Yes, the culprit has dropped a number of them, and all around where the victim lay on the pavement.
Indeed, as clearly pictured in this photographic print. That rotten Japanese man did that when he did the deed.
Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker.
But we saw him. It was the man with the dog without questions. And the mustache, the hunched back, the cat-like eyes, the taut mouth, the snub nose, everything.
Any more insults you want to throw in?
That's right. He looked down at that poor defenseless woman with those terrifying to intense eyes. And then he suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away.
I see. This is tough. They seem as though they're telling the truth here.
May I remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife.
Uh-huh.
Now please continue.
Too bad we are ACAB.
Yes, sir.
And there he goes
He does
again.
have nice eyelashes, though. Look at him, they're so big. And I admit, his eating of his hat is actually kind of cute.
Sorry, I was chewing on something and then I needed to drink something to get it down. We ran straight over, of course, and then went for help at a nearby police box.
I don't think that police boxes are a thing anywhere other than Japan, to be completely honest. Maybe they are, but I do not remember ever seeing a police box in the UK. Anyways, was it your husband who went to fetch help?
But if no police box is in UK, then why TARDIS?
There you go.
Damn it. God
Sorry.
damn it.
I just had this moment of like, the only place I know about police boxes are from the UK, and it's because of Doctor Who.
I can say I do not ever remember seeing a police box in the UK.
Oh,
The Doctor
shit.
wasn't there then.
I can also point out, like, police boxes in Japan and the UK, based on the fact that of what I have seen of the, what is that, the TARDIS?
Yes.
The TARDIS.
Look very different. So,
One of them
Well,
is
The way that you've described, like, there's actually, like a person
Mhm.
in the Japanese version, where
Yeah.
I think that the
It looks like a
British
phone
version
booth.
is like it's a phone booth basically, but it's meant to call the police.
mhm.
Except for
that
if
was
you're a
meant to call
Time
Doctor
Lord.
Who. Doctor Who? Anyway.
I might be Googling it right now.
Google's our best friend.
Truly.
Apparently, the first one was installed in Albany, New York, so
Oh,
they used to be in the U.S.
Superman. Yeah. It's definitely for Superman, not for regular ass civilians.
Exactly. Okay, in the UK. Da-da-da.
Hey, Leia. Leia.
They existed until about the early 70s, when they were phased out following the introduction of personal radios.
Hmm.
Apparently, very few police boxes actually remain in Britain today.
Well, shit.
But if
Well,
can
there
see
you go.
quite a few in Edinburgh, so which I would think.
Okay.
A relic of history.
Yeah, apparently.
Leia. Did you bring poop into the house? So sorry, everybody.
Good times.
Oh, if she did, she ate it. Okay.
Okay.
Welcome to dogs.
Welcome to dogs.
So apparently, like, Koban, which is the Japanese word for police boxes, like, it's a completely different Wikipedia article. So
Shit.
they're just, they get translated to the same thing, but they're just completely different.
Oh. Wow.
So. Yeah, because, like, it's an actual building. Like, it's usually got at least one person in it. There can be more. But, like, you go to one if you get lost, or if you lose something, or if something gets stolen, or pretty much any person to a Koban.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I am the proud wife of one after all. Oh boy. She's one of those bitches that thinks that because her husband's a police officer, it means she's also,
Yep.
like,
By proxy.
hard.
A
Yeah, by
police
proxy. just a police officer wife.
Of course.
Police wife.
Lawyer's wife, doctor's wife, dentist's wife. Shit.
God, can you imagine? Isn't that right, my darling?
Oh, yes, that's right. I asked Mrs. B to go. I was off duty at that point. But Bobby's never truly off duty, of course, so I felt obligated to stay and guard the scene.
This is why unions exist. Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of the crime is a task of considerable importance.
That's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police books.
Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police box?
It depends on the crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't actually on my beat. So I told Patricia the way to the police box for the beat. The incident fell so she could go and report her.
So, I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help from the Bobby on duty. There's nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know.
Yes, there was a barfing noise in the audience. Let's see. And thank you, barfing woman number 1. And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of 2 model citizens.
Yeah, I think that's where this is going. Can we get them to point out on the map where the police box she went was located?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yes. Or, oh, please. You're making us blush, isn't he, darling? Us.
You've met newlyweds before. Everything is
Yes.
a group event.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, what Patricia said, sir.
Excuse me. So I have to say about that. Burp.
Let's move on, shall we? You're giving Lemur
Barfing woman
indigestion.
number 2. For real.
I was oh god, okay. I can't read. What up? My name's Lemur. I'm almost 30 and I can't read. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rolly and I both saw him as clear as day.
But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you?
No. Yeah. Oh, well.
Could go on.
We absolutely could. Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight, I'll have you know.
Right.
The light. That's still me. Okay. Like, wait. The light from the street lamps was more than enough. Rolly, sweetie, the scarf choking is only for the bedroom only.
Sweetie, where are we? Is it time?
And my husband already told you that the fog was only light, didn't he?
Yes, and what of the fog?
What of the fog? We're famous for it across the globe, I believe. Yeah, what a thing to be famous for.
You're not the lightning capital of the world like us. That's
Yeah,
terrifying.
exactly.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I'd rather be fog people.
I will say it is a pain to drive in fog.
Yeah, like actual like thick
Okay.
fog
Mm-hmm.
Thick.
with multiple C's.
Hmm.
Like,
I remember like going on my college campus and we'd get really heavy fog some days, and not being able to like see the building 6 feet in front of you,
yeah.
which meant that
Jeez.
of course, anyone who has been to Oregon knows that there's a lot of bike riders.
Ooh.
So that was taking your life in your own hands during the when there was fog.
Yeah.
You would
Like, good luck,
absolutely get
mate.
run over by a bike.
Oof. That's the worst.
You get out of their way.
Yes.
Then they
Just
get mad
do.
at you for being in their way. So
Yeah. You know that sketch,
Bitches.
if you've ever seen Portlandia, there's that sketch about the Fred Armisen does the biker bicyclist bit. It's true.
it is absolutely
If
true.
you've ever seen that bit, that's 100% what it's like to deal with bikers in Oregon. Anyway.
There are, like, I will say Portlandia isn't like 100% accurate, but it's got a lot of pieces that are quite
It's
accurate.
pretty accurate.
Correct.
And I also enjoy telling people that it's accurate, especially when people like that are from Portland or live in Portland and can hear, because then they get real mad. They get big mad that you said that.
It's true though.
It's oh boy. See, and then they try to like tell me that it's like, well, it's just like Southern Oregon people do this, and it's like, I know. And all of Eastern Oregon people are sand people. Like, we get it.
Sand people.
Yeah. Have I not sent you the Oregon memes?
Apparently not. There's that much sand down there.
The eastern part of Oregon's like a desert.
I will be completely honest. I lived in Oregon for how many years, and I never went east.
Yeah, you get on the other side of the mountain range. It's desert, my
You
guy.
went west. Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah,
West.
yeah, I went to the coast a ton of times, but
You gotta go the other way.
I heard that there were some people that might not agree with me over in the east, and it avoided
Yeah,
it.
that's fair. That's
So.
They stay over there, and they don't like us either, so it's okay. It's a mutual dislike.
Dislike. Mutual dislike.
I'll find some solid Oregon memes to send y'all.
Perfect.
But it's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course. Oh, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm.
Yeah, all right. I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about? Does he have any
I
more
like
brain cells
it.
left?
Why did you stop, darling?
The constant fog makes our eyes very sharp, you see.
Yeah, I don't think that's how that works.
Questionable at best.
That's why we can tell you for sure and certain that it was the little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling?
Oh, oh. No. No, what? Oh, yes, it was accused in no mistake. The moustache, and the hunched back, and the cat-like eyes, and the toad mouth, and unmistakable, sir.
As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. It was Hosek's son they saw running away from the scene of the crime. So that's it, is it? That's their entire testimony?
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Beat saw what they say they saw. Mr. Natsume running away from the scene on Briar Road that day. How many organ memes did you immediately find?
2.
Enough of them to satisfy my thirst. Anyway.
Yes, I feel the same.
Oregon
I don't think I can. I don't think I can post images to chat. I wish I could.
You cannot, but I can post them to the Twitter later. So
Yes, please.
I will post them to the Twitter later. You can do 4. I'm limiting you to 4.
Okay.
So you can find 2 more.
Okay, I'll say the 2 that I sent are pretty solid.
They are pretty solid. That first one is definitely.
hurts.
Having lived in Western Oregon, it's true.
So accurate. Anyway, check Twitter later.
Yes,
check.
Yes.
Easter eggs.
And post your own Oregon memes, and I'll run them by Lemur, and she can tell us if they're accurate.
If that's true, where does it leave
me.
us?
So
my
if
bad.
that's true,
I just assumed it was me.
Where does it leave us?
It's like Susato's like they're sad. Obviously, I'm the one that needs to read. The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony.
Oh no! Then what do we do?
Cry.
Oh, that's not cool. I'm finding some not cool memes now. If Kazuma-sama were here.
What are you trying to say?
I think we would try to find a contradiction somewhere else within their testimony.
What do you mean, somewhere else?
Their statement about... Sorry. My dogs are being really weird. Their statement about seeing Mr. Natsume is unequivocal. Calling into question won't help.
Oh, security has come for the raccoon guy. Come on, raccoon guy. Go.
Oh my god, thank you.
That is happening as a B plot to our current movie.
I mean,
an episode of The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Look, sometimes you read about Florida Man, and sometimes it happens in front of your apartment. But also, I'm rooting for you, Raccoon Man.
Get away! Swim away! If you could identify some other part of their testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them to make the jury doubt if the pair's memory of the day is accurate. I just autofilled it. Correctly.
Right.
Hey, Need to read, sir. Put simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in these statements somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trail may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion.
Why do I always seem to be so up against it? Alright.
Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something?
Oh. Yes, of course. What is it?
Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we've told you. It seems like you don't believe our testimony. Is that right? Is it? Well, out with it.
What? No.
He's a mannequin now.
Oh no, it's really not that at all.
Oh.
My husband's a policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. I remember every last detail, everything. Like, oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped?
Oh, please give me those.
I could tell you the names of every single one. I could. Every single one.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
And you dare question how reliable my testimony is? Bitch.
We're on a roller coaster.
That will something.
Love that.
No, it won't do it all. That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. Oh boy.
Oh.
Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that Rolly will.
I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please put your husband's fists down.
Fists.
Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. B.
Mayhaps. Wow.
Might that appease you? Hey, full volume. Guys, stop. What do you want? There are so many other people in this house that you could be bothering.
They have chosen a victim.
Why does it have to be my problem? Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling? Just the threat of White Lady tears, and he was like, I'm gonna give you whatever you want.
Yep.
Right.
Finn, I don't have anything for you. I couldn't even tell you the name. I could even tell you the names of the 4 books he dropped at the scene.
I mean, he only dropped 3. So...
Did he?
Yeah, because we have his receipt.
Finnegan?
So, you're saying that there were 4 books?
That's right. I remember all of them.
Do you now?
A picture of Monsieur somebody, what's it, yearnings, a meal for someone, and the thingamagummies something.
Wow, okay.
I'm
Accurate.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Beat. But there's a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours.
They were all in Japanese. There's
Oh,
no way you
no.
could have read them.
What flaw?
Simply that, at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4.
What?
This is the receipt from the bookshop where the defendant bought his books.
Your books?
No, they're my books.
Yes, and it details Mr. Natsume's purchases that day. But, as you can see, only 3 books are listed.
Shit. So call that post.
Only 3? But no, that can't be.
But you can. Patricia.
I remember seeing them.
Fisticuffs.
There were 4 books, I tell you. 4 dirty old books.
Oh, really? Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. As you can clearly see from this evidence as well, there are only 3 books.
But I just don't believe it. I saw them there. I swear, I saw them.
No, madam. I'm afraid your powers of observation cannot be relied upon.
Grr.
Grr, indeed.
Indeed, Moo.
So, it cannot be denied. that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken.
Oh shit.
We had some fun there.
It's plainly evident that it is your powers of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend.
What?
You heard me. What cannot be denied is that these two witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. A fact you know very well. You have no hope of disproving. So you've striven to avert attention from that by a dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair?
He sees right through me.
It's called X-ray vision, darling. But your plan has somewhat recoiled against you.
What are you talking about?
It's one of my vampire powers, by the way. It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast. To the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony in every respect.
How?
You see, the matter's not up for debate. At the scene on Briar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found.
But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books.
Quite right. Only 3 can be seen in that print.
So you're keeping evidence from me now, is what I'm hearing. That print? You mean to say...
That's right, bitch. Allow me to present another. One that shows the victim's hand. Yes, I am withholding evidence.
I don't believe it. It's the 4th book.
Oh shit. As you will observe. The 4th book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso.
You got anything else you want to throw at me? A revised autopsy report? You know. Also, no!
Yeah. Odar.
I'd like a Happy Meal, please.
There, you see? Look at that. Look.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude.
Just like I said, isn't it, my darling?
Yes, sir. Patricia's always right, sir. Always.
Let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. Ahem. Mrs. Beat, the titles once again, if you please.
Oh yes, of course. The picture of Monsieur somebody or other. Guys?
The picture of Monsieur Lecoq.
Lecoq? No, like the
What's its yearning?
Canterbury Yearnings.
What, Finn? Because I don't disrupt you a lot on stream, so I think it's my turn.
Oh my god. All of a sudden, Maverick was behind me. A meal for someone.
A meal for Gabrielle, in fact. Gabrielle?
Gabrielle.
Gabrielle, yes, close enough. That's the vampiric way of saying it. As the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book titles flawlessly, save for a few minor details that I will definitely sweep under the rug. Mrs. B's powers of recollection can only be described as exceptional.
Did you hear that, Rolly? The gentleman paid me a compliment.
Or they paid you guys to say all this.
Yes, flawless, Patricia's flawless.
But there are only 3 books on the receipt, and Mrs. B mentioned 4.
There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly, the 4th book is what is shown in the photographic print.
Did someone eat that book? What is going on with the
what
corner
the
of that?
fuck?
It's a raccoon.
It's your raccoon friend. Yeah.
I'm
They
sorry,
traveled
Tom.
through space and time.
Shit,
and
I
even
wonder if that
dimension.
raccoon is the same one I helped
Is it
escape with
Pizza
that
Raccoon?
snake.
Or the steak,
steak,
yeah.
the steak
Steak
raccoon.
raccoon!
I do not remember whether I told that story on stream, but
I don't remember
No.
if you have either. Steak raccoon!
basically, so there's a little restaurant nearby. It's like a high-end steakhouse. But they've got seating outside, and I watched this raccoon like go up to this guy who had a steak on his plate, and like the guy just sat there as the raccoon took his steak. And of course the raccoon takes off, but it's a busy street. So I decided to cross a street so that the raccoon could get across safely with his steak. So I have aided and abetted a raccoon in stealing a steak, and I feel like the statute of limitations is point. Also, you can't prove it, Popo. So come at me. I wonder if it's steak raccoon. I hope you're doing well, buddy.
Oh, steak raccoon.
I'm sorry, Council, but does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt?
It is not odd at all, my lord.
Oh.
As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches.
Once again, well, I mean, I think I can assume that the victim brought it, but also was the victim eating the book?
I think the victim was
That's
eating
kind
the
of
book.
weird and sus.
In other words, it belongs to the victim.
The victim was holding her own book?
I wonder what became of that 4th book.
It was eaten.
Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. I have it here as evidence.
You will
I
submit
did
that.
not withhold this.
You will submit that and the aforementioned photographic print to the court, please, Council.
My pleasure, my lord.
Alright, we have our photograph, and we have the 4th book. I think it's time to take a quick glance at the evidence, then, before the prosecution kicks my ass.
The prosecution rests.
Alright, so we have the book that apparently this lady was eating before she got stabbed randomly. Let's take a look at the book.
Fiber. The lion's pride.
Looks like it was on
it's
fire.
A pun.
Oh, look at this. The book has been badly burnt.
You're right. You'd never be able to read it in this state, especially not the latter pages. I think chat might have an idea with the... Yeah.
What a terrible waste. And for those of you watching at home, I will read what chat said. Let's see. What if the person in this picture is Joan Garadeb in disguise, and the book she held was burnt from when she had a fight with her husband in the fireplace, and a fireplace spread in the fire.
Mhm.
Oh, just
Possibility.
realized when we did the deduction dance, the Lion's Pride was mentioned as a book, and the Garadebs lost during the fire from their fight. So definitely think it's Joan in the picture.
There we go.
Galaxy Brandon over here.
Mm-hmm.
Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently.
Book. Recently damaged by fire. Why does that seem to raise a red flag with me?
So
Woo,
annoying.
woo, woo.
Alright. See if there's anything else to look at here.
Let me see. This book is entitled The Lion's Pride.
I'm afraid I don't know any English literature at all. So it wouldn't be something I've heard. Wait a minute. The Lion's Pride? That's strange. I think I have heard of a book by that name before. And very recently, too.
It's a title I recognize too, Mr. Naruhodo.
Right. I think. Alright. Let's see how the prosecution's gonna kick her ass.
I love doing that. It's my favorite activity. The prosecution rests. I have nothing further to add.
What?
You seem surprised, my learned friend. But your resistance until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile. The spurious, longer route to the accused's lodgings that you tried to establish in your summation examination, and the attempted discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination.
Hell? Oh, I walked straight into this, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
You see, everything we said is true. From a
No.
certain point of view. Isn't that right, my darling?
No. Oh, yes, Pat. Marry me, Pat.
Aren't you guys already married?
That is sus. I will disregard that last one. So perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury and the boffing woman in the background would like to reconsider their positions. Should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty?
Jesus.
Or is the decision you have to make all too apparent already? Oh, fuck. You have heard all the witnesses and seen all of the evidence. This trial has run its course.
Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we are in a terribly precarious position.
I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse. I think, Bionosuke, what do you do now? Do we raise an objection, or do we wait and see?
Objection! It's actually Patricia, Patrick, the Pat, yeah. Yes.
Alright, let's raise the objection. I'm not done yet!
No, my learned friend, it's over. That last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. The die has been cast. There is no more room for debate.
Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but I can set witnesses on fire too. Ugh, I can't think of what to say.
You should bring your hot cocoa mug and throw it at the gaslight behind you, just like he did.
There we go. Marshmallows
If
just flying
I-
everywhere.
Yeah.
If I may,
Your
Lord
milky and your
Menzies,
cookies.
it seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point.
Your insignificant little eastern isle must be a lawless
Yeah.
soul indeed. For a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene at a moment like this.
Okay,
Do we have
Susato,
a
you don't have to
misogyny
say
count, too?
anything. Yeah, we should. But like, I'm gonna throw hands.
Mike, she needs to do the Susato takedown now. Cause I
Piece of
fucking
shit.
would.
Oh.
What a bitch!
Don't take his words to heart. You're doing great, sweetie.
No, you're great. We love you.
I
You're
am,
both amazing.
to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. So you will have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential and her opinions invaluable.
Hell yeah.
Tell him. Mr. Naruhodo.
He also fell asleep.
One of the land's great guiding principles is tolerance.
Really,
so
is it?
The court will
Is
hear
it?
from you, madam.
Thank
Go ahead.
God.
Go ahead, Miss Susato. Please.
Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further?
Listen here, you bitch. Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination and finished. I can't talk. I'm losing the ability to speak. I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you? Why would I be bringing it up if I didn't? Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think? Is it just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for? The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their leanings in a moment. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. So we must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible.
Yes, I understand. And thank you, Miss Susato. This is it. Susato-san has managed to win us one last chance here. I can't let it go to waste. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord.
Very well. The defense may present one further piece of evidence, but only one. Choose wisely.
British anger.
We're gonna go with the book. The evidence in
Thank you.
question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. The fourth book found in the victim's hand. Bless you.
I couldn't get to
Thank
my
you.
mute fast enough. Thank you.
We have already discussed the fourth book at length.
No, you have discussed the fourth book at length. You just don't shut up
But
long
we
enough
haven't.
for us to talk.
Exactly. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know.
Ugh.
Yes, I'm afraid, counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. Excuse me.
Susato-san, please slide me a glass of chalky milk so I can do the badass glass throw in the lamp like he did.
Oh.
I love that.
When I afforded you this opportunity, oops, Jesus. You led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue.
Well, maybe it does. You guys just won't shut up long enough to let me talk.
Mm-hmm.
So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel. You'll identify this clue at once. Do I make myself clear?
Oh,
Hell yeah, Your Honor.
yes, my lord. It's,
Mr. Naruhodo?
It's
I
an
believe
episode of Jerry Springer.
I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thorough examination of the evidence. Which means that you may very well be on the right track.
yes, I think you might be right.
So, counsel, precisely where is the vital clue to this case in which the fourth book conceals?
The lion's pride.
I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question.
Oh, yeah. The back? What do you... Good gracious. We're gonna talk about the big old bite. Been burnt to a crisp.
So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing.
Oh shit.
Objection.
Unnatural, you say? And what of it, my Nipponese friend?
Oh,
Were I to concede the point, if it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss. So, should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day? Pray, do enlighten us all. What truth does this charred book hide?
a charred book. There is just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance, certainly, but worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory.
Let's go.
Don't keep us waiting any longer then, counsel. Explain what this theory is of yours. And this theory of yours. What are you suggesting that you can ascertain from the fire damage of this sorry tome suffered?
Is it the shop that sold it, its owner, or its content?
Fiona.
Yeah, the owner.
My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals a startling truth about the book's owner.
I beg your pardon? But we already know who the book belongs to.
No. Oh.
The victim was gripping it in her hand as she fell to the floor after all. It's obviously hers.
Obviously.
The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand has yet to be answered. However, as to the questions of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has very credible answers.
Oh
Good gracious, how can you possibly...
Very well. I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you if you little gamble goes awry.
Counsel, the defense's response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of this burnt book?
This Goyle!
Mr. Moon.
Hmm.
The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb.
The landlords?
And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know, but of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Garadeb herself.
Oh, my goodness, me? I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Garadeb's wife. I'm his maid.
Things would be so much easier if you would just drop the pretense. Alright then, how about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Garadeb's house?
I would never presume to know all of the books he keeps, sir.
Objection. This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused's landlady, you say? You implicate this hard-working member of the public. You besmirch her with such a shred of evidence. Your actions are unforgivable.
Fight me.
I will defend my maid.
This is not
Maidly.
mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house.
Oh, good lord. What sort of incident, counsel?
A fire, my lord.
I'm afraid to say it happened to blink of an eye, you know. The whole place is filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bully thing. It didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course, and the Bali furniture started going up as well. Of course it was. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Pride.
The Lion's Pride.
By Jove, the very same title that the subject of this debate. Oh dear me.
Objection. This is risible, and you told the court that it's a book by the same name that was involved in a fire. In which case, it would be reasonable to assume that it was burnt to ashes. An entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself to the scene of the crime.
Perhaps it would make
but
more
she was
sense
holding it-
if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord. Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Garadeb was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Garadeb even amid the flames.
Oh,
Oh, how awful. I can't even imagine being so horrid to the one you love. Can you, Rolly?
Absolutely not, sir. My Patricia would never raise a finger against me, sir.
Just
But
a
she
scarf.
would yank my chain. My scarf here.
Had all my favorite old novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Whoosh, up in smoke. Then the wife started hurling things at me. That's when I, backed up against the window under heavy enemy fire, there was I. Incendiary books incoming, 10 to the dozen. The man had his back up against a window and he had burning books thrown at him.
The happy marriage.
yeah, absolutely.
Goodness gracious, are you suggesting that the book was thrown through the window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime?
Objection!
I don't know if that's what we're saying.
No, a thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted the very evening of the incident. And there is no report of the Garadeb's window pane being broken.
That's quite true. We also saw no sign of broken glass when we visited the Garadeb household. But is it not conceivable that the window was open at the time and...
Not even remotely. Let us not forget the season and the chilling weather that it accompanies it. No Londoner would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter.
Uh-huh.
Unless there was marital discourse, but...
Does the defense postulate this scenario in all seriousness, counsel? Do you earnestly claim that the book found at the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Garadev's wife?
Well, if you put it that way.
something window taxes, something.
I believe it's a possibility, my lord.
This box is on fire.
That's quite enough.
Oh shit, Elmo? Oh
Nope.
fuck, it's
Well, I hope that everyone can see you for what you are now, you little foreign trickster.
bitch.
You can call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward. A mean coward.
Really?
Okay.
Claiming that our little tiff set the whole neighborhood alight. Honestly. Implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance sake. How could you?
It's the truth.
That's why. It's nothing to do with the beastly case. Not any of it. All you've done is sully our family name.
No! I assure you that was never my intention.
Dragging my upstanding citizen's name through the mud simply to divert attention from your failing defense. I should box your ears. That's what I should do. It's utterly unforgivable.
Too right. I'm still angry.
Here we go.
How long have we sat here now listening to this Nipponi spouting out fancy foreign theories? But think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could possibly have stabbed the victim
is that little hunchback with the moustache. And he ran away from the scene, too.
I do declare you're right.
It's true.
Yes, what did I tell you?
Makes sense to me.
Sorry, what's that? Well, it would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position, Lord Von Zeeks?
I would like to behead things now. In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. But then, one must always exercise patience in order to savor the best vintage.
No, wait! The mystery of the fourth book still hasn't been. Oh, there's the shoe.
My foot says otherwise. If books are your predilection, my learned friend, study them on your own time.
You don't have to be so mean about it.
Talk to the foot.
What? No, forgive the discourtesy this time?
No. A lot of people like this shot of my feet.
In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Oh. Sorry, I cringed. My finger hit the wrong button.
I should
You will
start
now...
a website called OnlyFeets.
Oh, God. That's stream. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah.
You'll now state your individual decisions regarding the defendant's culpability in the court to hear. Only vamps.
Guilty.
Okay. Oh.
Not good when.
Oh.
Oh, that's not going well for us.
No.
Only fangs.
Only fangs. Only yeah, that's for him for sure. Only fangs. Only fangs.
Thank you for that unambiguous response.
Wow.
That's twice now. It's over.
Mr. Naruhodo, don't give up.
Huh? Miss Chisato?
Oh, okay.
Have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet.
You're not suggesting.
Of course, the defense has a right to another summation examination at this point. You could still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance.
My lord, the defense asks to exercise its right to a summation examination.
You believe you still have tricks up your sleeve?
I have absolutely fucking nothing. I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. No time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. Yay, we hit our to be continued though.
Whee!
All right. So next stream will be Sunday.
Yeah.
So normal time, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. Anyone got any news they'd like to share?
Subscribe to Lord Van Zeek's OnlyFangs today. No. Okay, I have a really funny story
Okay.
about OnlyFans. Okay, so like, I was you know how like you get recommended weird ass shit on YouTube sometimes? Well, there was this lady who is like, I guess like a Victorian channel. Like she likes to talk about Victorian history and fashion and like customs like from the Victorian era. And she thought as an April Fool's joke it would be funny to make an OnlyFans but only show her ankles.
Uh-huh.
Like saucy ankle Victorian pics, and she was fully clothed the entire time, but just, she had like fancy socks or something.
I love it.
That's fantastic.
And it was great. And apparently she made like $600. And it was just a social experiment for like a week. And it's
Damn.
closed now. But she made
Damn.
$600 and she said, wow, if according to my data, if I had done the subscription thing, then I would have made $5,000 out of my saucy Victorian ankle pics.
Okay, we are
Yeah.
no longer streaming. We are all just going to take ankle pics and make a ton of money.
Right.
I follow somebody who
5,000.
has a OnlyFans account for her hearse that she
Really?
drives. So she takes like glamour shots of her hearse, and the hearse has an OnlyFans, and it's pretty successful.
Oh, that's amazing.
I like it.
Apparently, like, okay, as I scrolled down the like comment section though, I learned of the best OnlyFans that I've ever heard of. It's I love joke ones. So it's literally only fans. They only take pictures of fans, like ceiling fans
Yes.
and hand fans, and all kinds of fans. So it's just only fans. Wow. I'm like, that's some galaxy brain shit right there. I wish I thought of it. So yeah, now you know that there's an OnlyFans out there with that is literally only fans.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I guess subscribe to them.
Yeah.
That's so funny to me. Anyway.
Yeah. Also, if you have a Patreon, you may want to consider changing your password, making two-factor authentication, all of that. Yeah. Anyways, like always, we have links below to our Twitter and YouTube. Twitter, you can see if we're going to start late, or most of the time I post when we're starting. I don't think I did that today, mostly because I decided to fuck with her stream thing 10 minutes before stream. But sometimes I post it. I will post if we start late, so if you want to get updates on that, you can find them there. YouTube, you can check out all of our old videos. Not everything we've ever played, but there's quite a bit on there now at this point. So yeah.
Yeah.
So have a good night. I'll wash your hands, wear your masks, get vaccinated, and we will be back on Sunday. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Woo.
Jesus.